crunchy, munchy, delightful, divine. I just love eating all of the time. A plate is great, it is filled to the brim. Pieces with flies spilling over the rim.
Hey, who is this? You better not be calling me to disturb my meal, or else...
Hey, Donald, no need for hostility. I just had something interesting you and the others might be interested in reading.
And that is?
A Sonic fanfic.
Stop right there, Obama. I didn't think you were some kind of furry. You better give a good reason for reading fan fiction, and especially from the Sonic fan base.
Look, Donald, but it's not as bad as you may think it is. Plus, you could use a break from your own presidential duty.
If I wanted a break, I'd be at my golf course getting away from you.
When was the last time you even decided to hang out with the rest of us before you took office?
At Bush's Ranch Grilling Steak?
Look, Trump, I get the Sonic fanbase has weird people in it, but at least give this one a chance. I'll even let you read the first chapter of it, and if it isn't to your liking, we can stop.
Have you told the other guys about this?
I convinced them.
I have a hard time believing you, Obama. At least explain the premise to me.
All right then. Sonic High School features Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, Amy, Rouge, Espio, and more in crazy high school drama, passionate romances, and crazy cliffhanger endings. It is known as the most addictive story online, and it is the ultimate Sonic story about high school. This story contains no graphic descriptions, and all the high school students are 18 years old. This is re-upload of original.
Did you just say original?
I just read it verbatim. Donald?
Seems like this author has failed English class. But if this is the most addictive story online, there is only one way to find out why it probably is. I'll bite. Nobody knows addiction better than me, except Hunter. What's with the binder? Did you actually print out physical pages of this?
Hey Trump, yes I did print out the entire story. It's 36,038 words, so it would be around 130 pages. So I ended up printing 650 pages, which was around 280 words per page. Needless to say, Michelle is gonna be pretty pissed at me when I come back, when she finds out I burned through 6 ink cartridges printing all this.
That seemed completely unnecessary to say to my face. What the fuck? Bill, why did you fall through the ceiling?
Don't worry about it, Donnie. Just keeping tabs, that's all.
Hey guys, sorry we were a little late. Joe had to pick up ice cream.
What can I say, Bush? Nothing beats scoops of chocolate chip melting in my throat.
Well, I was told there's some romance in this. The scandalous kind. You know I can't resist that.
Coming from the guy who was friends with Epstein? Yikes.
Hush, George. It's just the boys. You should relax.
I agree with Bill. I say we keep the politics out of this and read this fan fiction. I hope the romance is solid. I just want to get bricked up.
You guys better keep it down, otherwise I'm sending the Secret Service on your asses.
All right, guys, enough. Before we begin, let's make some rules as we read. I have handed all of you a printed copy of this fan fiction. We will take turns from the most recent president, so it will be starting from Trump.
The best, obviously.
Biden, myself, Bush, and finally Bill.
Saving the best for last, I see.
We won't interrupt each other while they talk until only after they finish reading a sentence. You can feel free to critique the story all you want. Also, for the one who is reading, if there are any author's notes, it must be read so we can all gain the full context of what the author, Dark Doom Firemaster, was thinking of at that time. And finally, all words must be read verbatim, even if there are mistakes. Are there any questions?
Even the big words? I don't know if I could read some of them.
Same goes for me.
I'll assist if need be. Anything else? And to the viewers at home, make sure you wear some headphones, because let's just say it gets quite graphic.
Who are you talking to, Obama?
Myself. Now Trump, if you would like to start us off.
All right then. Author's note. Wow, one day I woke up and got an email from this website saying that my story was taken down for containing copyrighted content. It doesn't do that. It is my story, and I wrote it. Pissed to the extreme. I said whatever, and then forgot about it for a few years. But now today, I am re-uploading it.
How would it get taken down for copyrighted content? Don't a lot of fan fictions use copyrighted content?
Beats me. Obama, do you know what website this was posted on?
Fanfiction.net.
All right, moving on. Chapter 1, Sonic's Journal. Sonic woke up and looked at the clock. 7 o'clock, it said, and Sonic screamed, "I am late for school. I have to get to school now," said Sonic, jumping out of bed. Sonic put his clothes on really fast and ran out of his room because he is fast. "No time for breakfast," said Sonic as he ran past Sonic's mom. You will regret this, said Sonic's mom, leering at him from the kitchen stove, wearing aprons and oven mitts on her hands. Sonic did not care. He was late. Sonic ran outside and ran to the bus stop where people were getting on the bus.
I guess Sonic's mother has a punishment in store for him later.
The language leaves a lot to be desired. It seems the author thinks the reader has a short attention span, just like Joe over here with his ice cream addiction. Just like the current generation of kids.
Hey, I need this to fuel me. Don't you dare disrespect my ice cream, you fat orange. Your dead carcass could feed all the kids in Africa, you fat fuck.
Joe, I'm warning you right now, you don't want to mess with me. I'm not feeling very friendly today.
Something going on, Obama?
It's nothing.
Oh, I know. Obama's husband just gave him the nastiest pegging a few weeks ago.
Wow, Obama, don't you know how to stand up to her?
Please move on. I just don't feel like talking about it.
Cheer up, Obama. You are with us, remember? Feel free to let us know if something is wrong.
What Joe said. You shouldn't bottle up your feelings from us. We love you, man, and we care.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, Obama. I could send the Secret Service to discipline your husband, but that's for later. Anyways. Tails, Knuckles, wait for me, said Sonic as he ran towards the bus. Hey, Knuckles, it's Sonic, said Tails to Knuckles at the bus stop. He is late, said Knuckles to Tails before getting on the bus. Sonic ran so fast to the bus, and he got on the bus after Tails. Just in time, said Sonic, huffing and puffing like he was doing the Cupid Shuffle for the first time. Sonic sat down next to Tails, and Knuckles sat behind them, taking up both seats.
That's a pretty old dance. When was this fan fiction released, Obama?
Somewhere in 2012, I believe.
Crazy that you are having us read a decade-old story. Obama, I guess Michelle made you read her books, huh? I'm so bad, said Knuckles, laughing because he sat where two people could sit. Knuckles did this every day, and no one bothered him, but they all knew it was against the rules of both man and God. The bus started and drove it to school and parked, and they got out. We're at school now, said Tails. It is time to go to class. Sonic was also at school, so he went to his first class of the day, English class. Sonic did not like English very much, but he did not like any class very much that was not about running and going fast, which is what Sonic does best. Sonic got to his class and sat down in his seat. It is journal day, said Sonic's English teacher, Mrs. Lesson. Mrs. Lesson was tall and white and had gray hair, and she was not pretty. Take out your journals and put them in a pile, and I will read one of your entries to the class. Sonic took out his blue journal and ran to the front quickly and put his journal on her desk and ran back to his desk, all with his head down and not talking or looking at anyone. Sonic was so fast that he did it first. Everyone else did it afterwards, and slower.
You guys think Mrs. Lester's going to take Sonic's journal?
Obviously, but this seems like a clear invasion of privacy to just read a student's journal. I don't mind taking a peek, though.
She probably had him sign a contract. I kind of remember that I signed a piece of paper, and the next thing I know is that we invaded Iraq for their WMDs.
Mrs. Lesson grabbed a journal from the pile, and Sonic knew it was his because it looked just like Sonic's journal. Sonic knew this because he had written in it so many times it was crazy. Mrs. Lesson opened to a totally random page, and it was the worst page she could pick. She began to read. Dear Journal, I called the doctor today about a problem. I have a problem with my balls. They are itchy, and it is difficult to sit still with them because they are so itchy. I have to back up against stucco surfaces and rub up and down on them to relieve the itchiness. No creams have worked. Creams only make my ball sweat smell like the breath of a thoroughbred, and I think Amy, my girlfriend, noticed. I hope my doctor calls. Love, Sonic. Oh no, stop reading, said Sonic, but he reacted too late because it was already read, all of it. Everyone in the class laughed, and Sonic felt like an idiot asshole because now everyone knows all about his ball problems. Sonic felt his rage build up inside him like a pool of lava in a volcano. Stop laughing at me! Don't tell anyone, shouted Sonic, but everyone was laughing so loud that they did not hear him. And Sonic was just so embarrassed and mad and sad, but more embarrassed, so he ran out of the class fast. Sonic ran to his locker and opened it and screamed into it. He screamed, "This sucks!" and curse words too.
Seriously, guys, would you laugh like that if you were put in that position?
Obama, I highly doubt our schools and a teacher in our education system would compromise something so insanely private.
Aren't you trying to get rid of the Department of Education?
Obviously, we can't have complete propaganda in our own education, Obama, something you Democrats want to so badly preach about.
To be fair, Obama, that is something Sonic wrote himself, so that's kind of his fault.
Exactly.
All right, fine, but clearly the author is trying to show us how vulnerable Sonic is at this point, even if the author puts it in a completely childish way. Can we please move on before Donald starts a filibuster?
All right then. What is the problem? Said Tails. Are you mad? Said Tails. Sonic was mad, so he nodded. You should tell everyone that it is okay to have problems with your balls and that they probably have problems that they do not want everyone to know about. 2. So stop laughing at me. Sonic thought. Tails was right because Tails was smart. Knuckles was there too, so he said, Sonic, what's is this? I heard about you're having problems with your penis and balls? Sonic was so mad again, so he punched Knuckles and ran away quick. Where Sonic ran to was his next class. It is now second period, so it was okay, and that class was history class. Sonic did not care about history class. Hey, Amy, said Sonic, check me out. And Sonic did a dance move. Wow, cool, let's kiss, said Amy. And Sonic and Amy kissed right there in the class, and some of the other people in the class watched, but the teacher wasn't there yet, so they didn't get in trouble. And who is going to tell Sonic he can't kiss his girl? Friend in class. Amy kissed Sonic so hard that he was thinking, let's have sex. But he didn't say it because the teacher would show up by the time they started to have sex in history class. Sonic kissed back really hard, and it was sexy to everyone.
And there it is. I didn't expect it to happen so soon, but it's sexy nonetheless. Thank you, Obama, for allowing me to experience this.
I'm getting so bricked up right now.
This is going to be painful to sit through with these two acting the way they are.
Let's just hope it doesn't get any worse. The teacher arrived and they did class, but Sonic just looked at Amy the whole time, who was sitting next to Rouge. Amy and Rouge talked, and they looked at Sonic sometimes and laughed, and Sonic thought Amy was telling her about how awesome Sonic kissed her, but it was not. Rouge was telling Amy about Sonic's gay ball problems, and Amy was Sonic's girlfriend, but she thought it was just the funniest thing ever. Class ended, and Sonic went to Amy quick and did not stop on the way. Hey, Amy, why do you go telling Rouge about how hard we kiss, smiley face, said Sonic, with a smile on his face that meant that he did not care that Amy did this and really wanted her to because it made him look cooler. Actually, Rouge was telling me about the problems with your balls and penis and butthole that everyone found out about in your English class. Wow, was Sonic surprised. He did not know what to say. So that's the end of chapter 1.
So it just ends? Seems like a weird way to end the first chapter. I think we should be left with more questions to keep us reading. Instead, we are left with nothing.
I'm more interested in the issues with his genitals, if I am being honest.
Of course you would be interested, you sleazy fuck.
Donald, relax. Let Joe express himself. At least he isn't as drugged up as he was in office.
Wait, how did you know about him being drugged?
You would know a lot of things if you were at the deep state meetings, Brock. You should see the things we do to Donald.
I can hear you, asshole.
Yeah, no thanks. Joe, it's your turn, so why don't you start us off with chapter 2?
Okie dokie. Chapter 2, The Prom. The rest of the day for Sonic was awful. So bad it was that Sonic went home and went right to the bathroom and took a big poop. It was a mad poop because it went out fast. It shooted out of his butthole so fast that it was like a gun shooting. His poop stunk so much that even the neighbors could smell it, and they all had a meeting at night about what to do about it, and they decided that they would just put fans on outside, and if it really started to smell again, they would do something else. So Sonic pooped and went up to his room and shouted into his pillow, "I hate everything!" Sonic shouted loud, and he heard a knock at his door. "What is wrong, Sonic?" asked Sonic's mom. "Nothing," said Sonic.
So, apparently how fast you take a dump equates to how bad it smells. Gotta wonder what he eats, if he shits out that fast.
Sonic also seems to want to talk about himself in third person, sort of like Joe's speeches.
This coming from the guy who asked, "Is our children learning?"
Well, damn.
Save it for the press. I came here for a good time, and prom seems like a good time to get myself aroused.
You're right, Bill. I just need to fap harder now. Okay, just keep it down because I am trying to watch the TV, said Sonic's mom to Sonic and left without saying anything else. Sonic was in his room still, so he looked out to the window and saw Tails flying there with this flying Tails. Sonic, are you okay? Asked Tails. I was worried about you, Sonic. Sonic was less mad because Tails was always nice and smart and didn't care that Sonic left his porns around his room so he could think about kissing and doing sex on Amy when he wasn't with Amy. Please be happy, said Tails. Are you there? Sonic went to the window and opened the window. Sonic grabbed Tails and put him on the bed because Sonic is strong too. This day was the worst, said Sonic. Everyone thinks I am a gay loser, all because I gave them my journal. Sonic cried a little, and Tails put his hand under his face to catch his tears. Tears can stain a carpet.
So much sexual tension here.
What?
I mean, Sonic kind of just grabs Tails and just puts him onto his bed while Sonic starts going about his problems and starts crying. I am surprised Sonic didn't propose to Tails right then and there. Considering your interest in making us read this story, it seems that you are just a closeted furry.
Dude, I thought you wanted to dunk on the story, not me.
You're not wrong, but considering the problems you have with your husband, it seemed to me that this is your way of expressing yourself.
You should come to Hunter's parties then. They have all of these people in costumes with all this gear I am not familiar with.
Why did I do this to myself?
Tails hugged Sonic and said, I am always here for you. The prom is tonight also. Wow, I forgot, said Sonic. Sonic ran to his closet fast and pulled out his prom uniform. It's a tuxedo and put it on faster. Is our limo here yet, Tails? Said Sonic while looking at Tails. Yes, said Tails right back. Let's go! And Sonic went outside with Tails, who was also in prom clothing, and they went outside and got in the limo.
Finally, it's about to get good, even if the writing has no subtlety to it.
You'll get used to it.
The limo is broken, said the limo driver, who looked like a person but darker colored.
Wow.
I didn't have to say anything. This is pure gold.
Couldn't you have said it a little nicer, Joe?
You picked out the story, Obama, and you told us to read it verbatim.
Didn't know Joe fought back like this.
If Joe was like that during office, America would be in a much better position than when he left it. Lucky for all of us, I run the show now.
And doing a terrible job at it.
Like what the fake news media has you believe.
Sonic and Tails got out of the limo and asked the limo driver if they could fix it. Nope, the limo is broken eternally, said the limo driver. So Sonic grabbed Tails' hand and said, let's go, and ran all the way to the prom, which was on an island called Ghost Island. This place is scary, said Tails. Ghost Island was really scary. It was shaped like a skull, and everything looked like it was dead. Sonic looked at Tails. Yeah, it is, said Sonic. Why would they put the prom on this island, said Tails. I don't see anyone else from the school here. Tails and Sonic were both worried about it all. Sonic and Tails walked forward, and there was a haunted house. Sonic and Tails went into the haunted house, and it was spooky. Sonic saw a ghost, and Tails saw a mummy.
What kind of prom is this? I didn't have the highest of expectations, but there is literally no one else at this location. Why are they even in a haunted house?
You'll have to wait and see.
There was a man laughing. Ha ha ha! Sonic and Tails, now you are both here and fallen right into my trap, said the man laughing. The man looked like a fat, immature gay. It was Eggman. Eggman, why you're here? Asked Sonic and shouted at Eggman. Are you here for the Chaos Emeralds? Sonic shook his fists at Eggman and Tails ran at him. But what an idiot he was, because a cage fell down from the top of the sky and trapped Tails. You are doomed now, said Eggman. Welcome to a graveyard of you.
A graveyard of you?
Sonic was shocked but did not run forward because he did not want to get caught too. But what if Eggman did not have another cage? Sonic did not know, so he went to the side into a different room. This room was smaller and had carpets and wallpaper. It was still scary though. Sonic said, I need to find a way out and to save Tails, and he walked into a door that was on the next wall. Next thing, said Sonic, and he came out of the room into the same room he was in. This is a haunted house, so you always come back to the same place, said Sonic, thinking of a famous saying he saw once on the wall of a Walgreens where it was written.
In a random Walgreens?
Eggman laughed and pointed at Sonic. I kissed Amy, and now you can never date her again because I am going to do sex to her tonight.
To do sex to her?
No, this cannot be real, said Sonic. Sonic knew that he had to do something, but what?
Finally, we get to the good stuff. It took us until the end of the second chapter.
Patience, Bill, you'll get what you want.
You read this before?
Yes. No spoilers, though.
That doesn't sound good at all.
I think it's your turn to read, Obama.
All right, then. Chapter 3. The Two Most Important People. Sonic ran the fastest right to Dr. Eggman right through his traps and jumped at the floating platform that Eggman was standing on. "I'm coming for you," said Sonic, and he jumped up right to the platform and got so close, but fell because it was just too high to reach even for Sonic. Sonic said, "Damn," and ran up the staircase that was in the middle of the big room that were under Eggman. Sonic ran to the top, and at the top he jumped again from a higher spot and this time reached the platform because it was easier to get to it. "Now you are mine," shouted Sonic right to Eggman in his ear. "I am not going to fall this easily," said Eggman, who then grabbed a crystal remote control out of his pocket and pressed a button on it that made a dome of lasers around Eggman. "Get out of here," yelled Eggman. "I am Eggman, and I will have my way with the treasures of this island," said Eggman. Eggman flew up higher on his platform, and Sonic had already fell from the lasers that were on the floating platform, so Sonic didn't get to go too. Eggman disappeared into a purple and black portal at the top of the ceiling, and Sonic was left at the bottom of the room on the middle of the stairs.
So instead of attacking Eggman, he just screams in his ear? It's just like Mega Man letting Dr. Wily go every time, hoping he learns the error of his ways.
Pretty sure in the 7th game, Mega Man tries to kill Wily.
That's only in the English version, though. Also, Eggman disappeared into a purple and black portal. Did he go into the Nether?
You can't build a horizontal nether portal, Bush, at least in vanilla.
Bummer.
So continuing on. "Amy still has to be here somewhere, and I need to get Tails out of that locked cage," said Sonic, thinking about what he should do next. Sonic ran up the stairs really fast and down the hallway at the top of the stairs on the 2nd floor. Sonic picked a door and ran into the door. The room Sonic ran into had a big picture of an old man on it, and he looked just so old that it was like seeing a skeleton right there. Sonic said, "This man probably died ages ago and left all his money from being in real estate to his sons who build this place." Sonic thought this was not the right room to be in, so he left it and went into the next room. This was the right room to be in, Sonic knew immediately. There was a big red bed, and Amy was tied with rope around her feet and hands, and there was another rope around her head with a lock in her mouth so she couldn't open it or say anything at all. Sonic ran right to the bed without doing anything before doing that and untied Amy with his sonic speed.
Seems like Eggman really was into some kinky stuff. I guess he just wanted to defeat Sonic first. I guess Sonic screaming in his ear scared off Eggman.
I don't think the author was going for 50 Shades of Eggman, but thanks for taking us there, Bill.
That's the spirit, Obama. You don't have to act so serious all the damn time, even if Michelle is giving you problems at home.
I don't know, I want you guys to read this, but you guys treat it like a joke.
Obama, you give us a piece of work filled with spelling errors, strange writing choices, stranger dialogue, and you expect us to take it seriously? Especially when you said we can freely critique it?
Oh, well, yes. Well, look, it's just a guilty pleasure of mine, so let's just move on, please. "I am so glad you are here," said Amy. "This prom is not turning out like I hoped it would when I bought this dress." Amy was wearing a pretty red dress that was like what she normally wears, but longer, and there were 2 flowers on the 2 shoulders. Amy's dress also made her boobs look bigger, Sonic noticed. Sonic thought for just a moment that this was the perfect moment to get her to give sex to him, but he did not do it, because Tails still needed help. "Where is the key to open Tails' cage?" said Sonic to Amy. "We need to open Tails' cage. He can't get out the cage." "I saw Eggman putting a key in a safe behind the picture in the room you were just in," said Amy. "So let's go get it." Amy and Sonic ran to the next room, and Sonic got there first. He is the faster one in the relationship. Sonic punched his big, strong hand right through the painting like a bodybuilder and found the safe behind the painting. "This safe needs a password," said Sonic. "What could it be?" Sonic thought long and hard about everything he knew about Eggman. Sonic knew Eggman was a gay asshole who always ruined Sonic's plans to be the hero, and now he ruined Sonic's prom. Sonic tapped on his brain and thought harder. "Maybe the password is his name," said Amy. It was not, and Sonic knew it before Sonic put it into the safe lock. "I love her for her body," thought Sonic. Sonic thought harder and had an idea.
Sonic is just laying it thick. Seems like a Mary Sue.
I may be a complete horn dog, but even I see this. Can't help but root for Sonic, though, on his quest.
Like a love quest?
Do not speak their name into existence, please.
Who?
It's better you do not know.
What Bush said, "Please don't do that again. Please don't say their name." "What if the password is SAOHC SD Laramie?" finally shouted Sonic at Amy next to him. Amy, who was there, said, "What does that mean?" Amy, Sonic's girlfriend, was confused. "It is Chaos Emeralds backwards, what he really wants, but messed up, so we would not guess it," screamed Sonic so happy. Sonic typed the password into the safe, and would you know it, it popped open and there was this big key, so Sonic took it. Sonic ran down the stairs, and then Amy did, and Sonic opened Tails' cage and Tails got out.
Seems like the author drags out the story pace unnecessarily. Reminds me when I said how Iraq's invasion was completely unjustified.
"I am so glad to be safe one again. Thanks to you, Sonic, the day is saved." Tails was smiling bigger than a crocodile having a silly dream, but Sonic was not. "What is wrong, Sonic? Everything is right now," said Sonic. "No, it isn't," said Sonic, so mad and sad, Eggman got away without a real punishment for what he did. Sonic shook his face at the sky, thinking about how Eggman slipped away like a slippery balloon that Sonic let go of. "But we are all safe," Amy said. "That is what really matters." Sonic figured right then that Amy's superpower must be being nice because, like he knew before, it wasn't being smart, which Tails was best, and Sonic is also good at it too. Sonic did not even think about how his day at school was bad anymore because his balls did not really even itch anymore. Sonic laughed, Tails laughed, Amy laughed, and they went home ready for the next day of high school.
So is it finally over?
We still have 22 chapters to go.
At least let us take a break. I have important political matters to attend to, you know.
Like releasing the Epstein files?
What files? I never visited that island. You people need to stop suggesting I was with the guy. It's just a hoax created by you Democrats to accuse me of not doing my job in releasing them.
Relax, Trump. We can take a break. Once we complete the 5th chapter, we can come back to Epstein a lot later.
So I'm next to read, right?
Go get him, bushy boy.
Chapter 4. Getting a date. Sonic did like in the first chapter and went to school again.
Guess the writer got lazy when being descriptive.
Now it's lunchtime and Sonic was in the lunchroom. Sonic was telling all of the people at his table who were Tails, Knuckles, Shadow, SBO, and Charmy B about what did happen yesterday, but Tails already knew, so he was nodding his head like a good friend. "You should have seen it," said Sonic. "I was in the haunted house and I shot Eggman, but I let him get away right before I could have killed him." Sonic laughed and Tails laughed at the same time.
Sonic shot Eggman? Since when?
Sonic never shot Eggman, Joe. It was never mentioned at all.
Sonic just screamed at him, and it was enough for him to flee.
I'll admit that it doesn't make sense why Sonic would boast about shooting him.
Knuckles said you should stop going on these cool adventures because high school is more important, said Knuckles. And Sonic knew he was right because it's called Sonic High School, and it should be more about the high school part.
We finally got the title drop? Pretty sure that usually happens near the end.
Pretty sure it's just a random fourth wall break.
So Sonic gets special treatment because his name is a part of the school?
No.
If only he did, he could definitely use that to his advantage with getting with Amy.
That actually doesn't sound out of character for some reason.
So Sonic asked them all what they're up to. "Well, I am entering the science competition," said Tails. "To win the science competition, I have to come up with the best invention, and my invention is this invisibility hat. It makes you invisible, but I can't do it right now because I have to make sure it works perfect for the science competition." Tails was so smart that Sonic knew he would win the science competition because Tails is like Innestein. "Nerd," shout Knuckles right into Tails' ear. "What a bad guy. I am just hanging out, not going to class because I want to cause trouble," said Knuckles. Knuckles was so bad that he would cause trouble. Sonic thought Knuckles was a fuck. He's a fuck? Even Joe makes more sense than this.
Yeah, he's just.
Take the white pill, Joe.
Thanks, Brobama.
Shadow was next, and he was badder than Knuckles, but in a different way. "I'm not going to be around much longer," said Knuckles. He always did at the end of what he was saying because it was mysterious. "Where are you going?" said Tails. Because he was curious. "I am going to kill my parents," said Shadow. See, this is how Shadow was worse than Knuckles. He did serious bad things. At least at the end of the day, Knuckles could sleep. Shadow was too dark for that.
Are the viewers supposed to take this seriously?
What are you talking about?
The media, obviously, they are going to wonder what the hell you all are doing at the Oval Office.
Moving on from that comment, "I am going to go try out for the football team," said SBO. SBO was athletic like Sonic, but not as fast, but he had a horn on his nose that was good for attacking people in front of him, so Sonic thought he would be good at football. "I am going to go try out for the play," said Charmy B. Charmy B was loud and singing always. "You're an annoying fag, so you should do great," said Knuckles.
Ha 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 ha!
That ain't funny, dude.
So? It just shows at least Knuckles is more of a man than Obama could ever be.
Why am I catching random strays?
To help you stand up to your husband, Obama?
You know I could call Michelle right now to beat your ass.
We are all trying to help you know, so put the phone down and we can talk about this later.
"Do not hurt my feelings," said Charmy. Charmy was used to being hectored, so he was able to remove himself from his potent fury. "Did you see Rouge just now?" said SBO. "She is looking so hot in her tiny bra." SBO obviously wanted to kiss her deep. "You should ask her out," said Sonic. "But the prom was yesterday," said SBO. "Well, that is okay. You can date anytime," said Sonic. "Oh," said SBO. "Well, then I am going to kiss and sex her tonight." SBO was like a little boy looking at his mom's boob for the first time. Sonic and Tails together were both looking at each other and they wanted to help SBO.
So, do all the students who have speaking roles in this fan fiction, that I guess are probably from the Sonic games, all want a romantic partner that the author decided to pick?
Not everyone you see will be getting a significant other.
Bummer. Just hoping the ones we do get are good.
Bill, you sound way too invested in the romance of cartoon animals.
What can I say? Young love is a precious thing.
Yikes.
Yeah, let us romanticize and jack off as we please.
Oh my God.
We are literally at the end of the chapter. No more interruptions, please. We are going to help you get a date, said Sonic and Tails at the same time simultaneously. And we are going to do it right now, said Sonic and Tails. Sonic and Tails got up and both grabbed one of Espio's arms and dragged him across the room. Sonic did most of the dragging because he is stronger and put him right at Rouge. What is this about? Said Rouge with a questioning sound. She blinked her eyelids quickly like a race car. What do you want? Why are you here? Espio looked right into her eyes with a passion like 100 barking dogs and said, Rouge, will you go out with me? Espio was sweating and there were drops of sweat dropping off his hands in front of her. I don't know, said Rouge and looked at Espio. Rouge gave him a sexy look that made Espio feel in love. Please do it, said Sonic and Tails together at the same time. Okay, we can go on a date tonight, said Rouge. Sonic and Tails and Espio were stoked and high-fived right there. By the time this night ended, one of them would have done their first sex. Now here's the hard part, said Espio. How do I put sex in her without getting in trouble? Sonic and Tails looked at each other and thought, oh, and Espio walked out while holding onto Rouge's boobies because they are now boyfriend and girlfriend and it's allowed to do it.
Oh, yeah. Espio has already moved up to bat.
Bill, don't try to even compare the two.
Come on, Donald. Think of a relationship like an ice cream. Sure, it gets a little messy, but it's always so sweet.
If you think like that, maybe that explains your presidency, a privilege for any American citizen like yourself, but leaving behind a sloppy mess for me to clean up.
That's what the drubs are for.
Well, I'm exhausted from reading this shit.
My time to shine then. Chapter 5. Preparations. It was the end of the day at school, and it was time that Sonic and Tails and Knuckles got back on the bus at the bus stop to board it all the way home from school. We are on the bus now, said Tails. No more classes. Tails was happy but sad because he is smart. Sonic and Tails sat down together and Knuckles sat right in the middle of the aisle, which he usually did not do but sometimes did when not everyone was on the bus. It looked like Espio and Rouge were not on the bus because they were busy getting ready to go sex tonight now that they are boyfriend and girlfriend.
What subtlety if the author spells it out to the audience?
Okay, I'll admit that the author does a poor job at conveying any sort of subtlety, but sometimes maybe the author wanted to make us know what they're up to. However, I agree, it's not the best way to do it.
Is the whole story gonna be like this?
Unfortunately.
Knuckles laid across the aisle even more stretched out than when he just sat across two seats because now the limits were the Alpha and the Omega. How can we help, Espio? Said Sonic to Tails. Tails responded, I don't know, and thought about it on the bus. The bus drove bumpy on the bumpful roads all the way home, and then they all got out at the bus stop that they normally got in the bus at, just like always. Sonic ran out of the bus, and then Tails and then Knuckles in order. Time to go home, said Tails. We are almost there. And they walked the rest of the way to home. When they got home, it was dinner time, and Sonic was at a different hole from Tails and Knuckles because they were all in different families, so they did not live together, and Sonic's mom made a dinner. Sonic's mom made Chinese food, and Sonic ate it, and at the end there was a fortune cookie, and Sonic broke it open and ate the cookie part, and kept the paper that was inside that held a magical fortune on it. Sonic looked at the fortune and read it to himself inside of his head. The path to glory begins at the base of your friend's penis, said Sonic inside of his head, reading the fortune cookie paper. And he knew it was a good sign for what was about to happen tonight when Espio and Rouge went to sex.
Of course, the fortune cookie has a completely ridiculous fortune inside. What is wrong with this woman? No wonder Sonic has no father figure. His own mother has corrupted him from the very beginning to be a porn addict.
I'm also wondering when we will get different POVs of the other characters. So far it's been kind of mediocre, only following Sonic.
To answer your question, Bush, you will see in the next chapter. Donald, I'm not sure why Sonic's mom would put something like that into his cookie, but maybe she's probably looking out for him?
Yeah, probably making sure he doesn't spread an STD.
Hush now, let me continue. Then the phone ringed. Sonic ran to the phone and picked it up and said, hello, into it. It was Tails. I have an idea, said Tails on the phone to Sonic, who was listening but not speaking. I can give Espio my invisibility hat that for the science competition he can use it to do sex for Rouge. Sonic smiled so wide, like the King of Fire finding out he burned down New York City with only his fire powers.
Who's the King of Fire?
I'm not sure about a King of Fire.
Sonic and Tails went to Espio's house later, which was not too easy to walk to normally for most people. But Sonic is super fast, so we ran there and helped Tails get there too, seeing as Tails is not as fast as Sonic. They knocked on the house and Espio came out of the door. Here is my invisibility hat that you can use with Rouge tonight to make sex in. It makes it impossible to see and impossible to hear you when you are wearing the hat, or when someone who is wearing the hat wants you to also be impossible to see and impossible to hear, screamed Tails, whose voice was a little hoarse from ordering food with the lunch lady, whose hearing was lost in an earthquake in her childhood. Tails had to say the things he wanted so loud, and she would still say, "What?" And Tails wondered why she even had ears if she wasn't going to use them.
A deaf lunch lady? That seems a bit random to include an interaction between.
SBO grabbed the invisibility hat from Tails' hands and said, "Cool, thanks," and kept going, so Sonic and Tails left and wished him luck from far away at their own homes. Back at home, Sonic thought that it would be good that SBO would get sex into Roo so then he could explain it to Sonic, and Sonic would know how to find. Amy's sex spot's even better because otherwise he would have to read about it online, because all he knew about was kissing, which wasn't really sex, but it was probably kind of the same thing, and Sonic would just read about it online before talking about it anyway, and he would know the right words for the things then. He really doesn't even know how to access the good stuff. Must be living in the UK with that new law they just passed.
In that case, maybe it's a good thing they don't.
Sonic sat on his chair that was in front of a Sonic computer and opened up Sonic Instant Messenger and messaged Amy, who was doing the same thing but at her home, and said, "Hey Amy, want to finally become true boyfriend and girlfriend by reaching sex? This weekend."
First, an entire high school is named after him, and now a social media app?
Maybe the fast food restaurant is extremely popular, so they branched out.
Also wanted to point out the most blunt statement for trying to get some action with someone.
Sonic waited for a long time at his computer, and it seemed like Amy was not there because she did not respond to anything. Sonic played games online and beat all the final bosses because he was like an alien sent to Earth to destroy records set by others. I believe that personally. Then finally, Amy responded. What Amy said was, "No way!" Sonic was so shocked his brain must have felt like a total idiot.
Who would have seen that coming?
Well, I'm going to go to some meetings. It will probably take 2 hours.
Y'all want some snacks while we wait?